For thousands of years, humans have looked up at the sky for answers. We've always had this feeling that the planets held some kind of key to our lives. But the ancients, they didn't just see a list of personality traits up there. They saw a vast, intricate cosmic clock.
When we think about astrology today, we usually think of sun signs and daily horoscopes, right? It's a fun way to describe our personalities. But what if I told you that its original form was something way more complex? I mean, a truly sophisticated system for trying to chart the course of an entire life. You see, for the astrologers of the ancient Hellenistic world, we're talking from about the 1st century BCE to the 7th century CE. This was not about whether a Leo gets along with a Gemini. No way. It was a serious philosophical and technical practice. The whole goal was to understand the very fabric of fate itself. Now, to really wrap our heads around this ancient system, we're going to lean on a modern expert. This whole explainer is based on Chris Brennan's incredible book, Hellenistic Astrology, where he painstakingly reconstructs the practice from its original ancient texts. It's a fantastic resource. So how did this whole cosmic clock actually work? Well, it all starts with the main characters, the cosmic actors. To the ancients, these were the 7 visible planets, the wandering stars that they could see moving against the fixed background of the constellations. At the core of this whole system is one simple, super important idea. The planets were split into 2 opposing teams. First, you had the benefics, that's Jupiter and Venus, which were seen as forces for good fortune, for growth, for ease. And then you had the malefics, Mars and Saturn, which represented challenges, difficulty, and struggle. And the contrast between them is, well, it's stark. Jupiter, they called it the great benefic, was tied to everything expansive and positive, wealth, honor, success. And Saturn, the great malefic, was its complete opposite. It represented limitation, delays, isolation, hardship. It was basically a cosmic yes versus a cosmic no. And you see the same exact dynamic with the lesser pair. You've got Venus, the lesser benefic, bringing harmony, love, partnership, and then you have Mars, the lesser malefic, bringing conflict, severance, and aggression. Seriously, understanding this fundamental split is the first key to unlocking the logic of an ancient chart.
So if the planets are the actors in this cosmic play, then the zodiac signs are the stage. But they don't work in the way you might think.
Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about your sign defining your whole personality. In Hellenistic astrology, a sign is more like an environment. Think of it like a filter or a stage set that changes how a planet acts. So Mars, the planet of action, is going to behave very differently on the fiery stage of Aries than it would on the watery stage of Cancer. The backdrop changes everything.
Now, planets and signs have these really specific relationships. The most important one is called domicile or rulership. The easiest way to think about it is this. Each planet was given a home sign, or sometimes 2, where its nature could be expressed in its purest, most powerful form.
And just look at this, it's so elegant. This pattern is not random at all. The sun gets Leo and the moon gets Cancer, right? The 2 signs of high summer. Then, all the other planets are assigned signs in a perfectly mirrored pattern moving outwards, all the way to Saturn, the most distant planet known to them, which rules the signs directly opposite the sun and moon. It's this beautiful logical system.
Okay, so we have our actors, the planets, and we have our stage, the zodiac signs. Now we need the plot, right? The different scenes of a person's life, and that is the job of the 12 houses.
The 12 houses, or places as they actually called them back then, divide the chart into 12 slices. Each one represents a specific topic or area of your life. Career, family, relationships, health, you name it. This is where the planetary action actually shows up in the real world. And some houses are definitely more important than others. The angles, those are the power zones. The logic here is actually pretty simple and symbolic. The 10th house is at the very top of the sky at the moment of birth. It's the most visible point. So, naturally, it came to represent your public life, your reputation, your career. The 4th house is directly opposite, under the earth, totally hidden from view. So it represents our most private life, our home, our family, our roots. Makes sense, right?
So we've got the planets, the signs, and the houses. But how do you put all these pieces together to tell a coherent story? How do you actually read this cosmic clock?
Well, the ancient astrologers used this really powerful nautical metaphor. For every single birth chart, they would look for the single most important planet, the one that acts as the captain of the ship, guiding the overall direction and the central theme of a person's life.
And finding this captain is actually surprisingly straightforward. First, you find the Ascendant. That's just the zodiac sign that was physically rising up on the eastern horizon at the exact moment of birth. Then, second, you figure out which planet has its domicile, its home, in that sign. That planet is your captain. And finally, you just look to see which house, which area of life, that captain planet is located in. That house topic becomes a central, guiding focus for the entire life story.
Now this is a powerful system, and it sounds pretty deterministic, doesn't it? It brings up a huge question. Did the ancients believe our lives were just completely mapped out, with absolutely no room for free will? This quote, from one of the most important Hellenistic astrologers, Vettius Valens, gives us a real peek into their mindset. There was the stoic acceptance of a preordained path. By understanding the cosmic blueprint, they believed a person could train their soul to be content with whatever came their way, becoming soldiers of fate, able to handle whatever was destined for them with a sense of mastery. Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. Was this system meant to be a literal, unchangeable prediction of the future? Or was it something more like a symbolic weather forecast, a language that describes the archetypal patterns and challenges of a life, giving a person the wisdom to navigate their own unique journey? The answer, it seems, is still being debated 2,000 years later.